When I first saw the trailer for Palworld, I genuinely couldn't believe that it was a real game. Pokemon? Guns? Terrible working conditions? It's a fever dream and it's finally out for everyone to play. In early access, that is. I finished the tutorial after 4 hours and here's what I thought about it. Palworld is an open world survival pocket monster RPG. To put it simply, it's Pokemon except you have a gun and you can build a base. It's a weird combination, but it just works. You start off by collecting wood and stone, and these are the literal building blocks of the game. You create a crafting table and some tools, and the rest follows. But if that was all there was to it, it'd be boring. You've seen this before. But this is where the pals come in. Every pal you catch, you can put to work. You can queue up things to be crafted, and if there's a pal available that can do it, they will come over and start doing it. What each pal can do depends on their physiology. Pals with small hands can craft, fire pals can keep a furnace going, water pals can, well, water plants. This changes everything, because you can go off and do whatever while your pals are hard at work. Like collecting more pals. And they don't just work either. They help you in combat, and killing them gives you materials necessary for crafting. By the way, pals are your only food source. In order to survive, you have to eat your pals. Not only that, a pal's gotta eat too, and you can opt to feed them berries or something a little more interesting. Outside of their hunger, you have to manage their sanity. They'll eventually start talking about make-believe things like poor working conditions and breaks. The earliest structure to avoid such nonsense is a spa, which they'll automatically visit when they get grumpy. They'll also automatically eat food whenever they're hungry, as long as you have a food basket placed. And the combat of Palworld is, and hear me out, almost Dark Souls-like. As far as I know, you can dodge every attack with a roll. I don't know if the roll has iframes, but it felt like it at times. Pals have attack patterns, with the smaller pals only having one attack and the larger ones having multiple. This boss ends the tutorial and it sold me on the combat. This boss took me 2 tries, and by the second attempt I had a feel for their attacks and it felt really good. An important thing to note is your pals can take aggro, and you can swap them in and out of combat at any time. So, if you really want to play optimally, when the boss locks in on your pal, you can swap them out before they get hit. It added a new and surprising amount of nuance to the combat, and I hope it's a relevant tactic against the harder enemies later in the game. The graphics aren't much to talk about, but they're okay. I think they kinda fit, honestly. Having ray-traced graphics for this goofy game wouldn't fit as well. The AI also isn't that great, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I expect it'll be improved later on, because again, this game is early access. I also can't say much about the open world because, well, I didn't really explore much of it. I was too focused on building up my base for literally 3 hours that I didn't stray far from where I placed it, which was right next to the second fast travel waypoint. There are things to collect though, and you can get these green little shrines that give you a currency to improve your catching power and your pals. I'm already hooked on this game, and I'll make a much more in-depth review when I've sunk my teeth into it for a bit longer. As of now though, I think it's just a stupidly fun game. I mean, how could it not be? It's Pokemon with guns. It's impossible for someone to have that idea and then create a game that was boring. There are so many details I want to talk about, but I would sooner die than spoil them for someone who hasn't played the game because of how much fun I had finding them myself. So please, try the game yourself. Thank you for watching.